Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's December 3rd. This will be our chart lesson for today. And as you can see, another very similar day to yesterday, light volume. We sold off early, but then closed almost on the high again for the day. So this market continues to push higher. We closed higher as well. You can see we closed here yesterday. We closed up here today. So yesterday the close was around 60, 61.75, and today we were at 60, 68.75. So 7 point higher close, and we're still pushing higher. So again, the volume's been light, um, not not totally unexpected after the Thanksgiving holiday. You would think by Tuesday and tomorrow that the volume would pick up a little bit, but as we go deeper into December, the volume is going to continue to lighten up, and most of your big banks and things, they're probably not adding on a lot of new money and stuff. People are uh, squaring up for the end of the year. They're squaring up trades and things like that, and people are thinking more about the holidays, spending money for Christmas and that kind of thing. So it tends to slow down the closer you get to the holidays. So I see this low volume continuing. May pick up a little bit over the next few days, but it's going to continue to probably remain slow and do that through the end of the year. So we'll see what happens, but that's generally the expectation. And you know how it is with the markets. Anything can change, anything can happen. Nothing's written in stone, but generally that's what you can expect as we go into the holidays. And in January, things will pick up, and a lot of times some of our biggest rallies are just after the first of the year into the spring. So we'll see if that happens this year or not. But we continue to trend and push higher for now. So let's flip over to the 2000 tick chart and take a look at it, and we'll go through our trades and wrap this day up. Okay, here's a look at our 2000 tick chart. We did have some news items. Ignore this, everything in the red and green. The only thing we had today was the 9. Thought I turned that off. I don't know why it's not going off. The only thing we had was the 9 o'clock, which is, I blew that out right here, about 8:50 to a little after 9 o'clock, till I felt it was safe to trade again. So, but that's the only news item we had. All these others are for tomorrow, so just ignore them. And you can see we trended down. Same, we had to close outside, a few moves to a new low. We tried to make another new low and basically made a little higher low there and reversed. And we trended up into the close, and then we had one more shot up right before the close, and we backed off that just a little. So the market tends to do that every day. We kind of trade down a little bit, and then we reverse and trade up the rest of the day. There weren't a lot of entries really after lunchtime. Basically, I see one possible green, and you might have taken this trade, but there just wasn't a lot of opportunities after lunch. So, uh, and most of this move came before lunch here, and then the final big move kind of came right into the close there. So, uh, I don't know what that means for tomorrow, but we'll see. But let's zoom in here. This is a real mild downtrend as well. But we're working up here, and 7 o'clock came right as we kind of get this close outside, and then a move to a new high. And that basically gave us a double top. And notice the green channel working up. You get a break and a couple of swings up to a new high and a big bearish bar. I like going short there. And if you get that one, you get a pretty nice move down. And then we find some support here, and we test it. We really get 3 tests here, but you can't really enter till here. You get another test. And this bar is iffy, but I believe with 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, you're probably okay going long there. Just don't expect anything much more than a scalp. And if you get more than that, it's great, but you're just looking for a scalp. And that's exactly, you get a couple of swings up. And if you had a decent signal bar right here, I would say go short, but you don't get one. I wish I could get rid of this thing. I don't know what it's doing. Let me reload the gentleman. Oh, still not there. I don't know. Every once in a while this thing does that. Let me pause it a minute. Okay, I don't really know what I did, but I got rid of it. So anyway, maybe you take this trade and you get two legs up and then this lower high. And I like this lower high, big bearish bar. It actually breaks higher first and turns down. You might trade that on the engulfing bar. I talked to somebody today, and I tell people this: if you're a new trader and you're not very experienced and you're learning, don't trade engulfing bars. Just skip them and wait for them to close or skip the trade. Now, if you're experienced and you've been doing this a while and you understand what's going on and you've been consistently profitable, then maybe you can introduce engulfing bars. But they're more advanced and they're more difficult to trade. And if you try trading these when you're inexperienced, you're just going to have a bunch of losses and mistakes. So just avoid them. So anyway, you just get a lower high here, plenty of room back down the low. We finally make a new low, a couple of swings down on this channel right here. And we reverse up, close outside, move to a new high, and we turn down right here. I draw my trend line there. It's hard to say if the trend line should have been, I think originally I had it a little higher. I think it's a little higher here. I think it's more like that right there. I think it just drifted on us a little bit. So I think what you do is you get your two touches here and you get it confirmed on this one of these next ones here. And you can see we're coming up short down here. And you can see the midline seems to be playing perfect right through there too. And you get your break and it attempted to make a new low several times and really couldn't make a new low. So, but this is the way I originally read it. So anyway, you get your move back up. This was all during the news, so just skip that. But you do get a channel up, close outside, move to a new high. I think these are two separate trends here. And this one was a little steeper. It's moved too, I think. That's the way I had played that one. You close outside, new high, then you're down. You get a close outside, new low. Then you get a move up, close outside, new high. So I think that's how it played out. And then now you get a lower high here with a big bearish bar. I like going short there. It comes back and confirms that trend line again, but actually you can't enter this trade because something's changed. I think originally this was a real bullish bar on my chart, and when I reloaded it, it changed. And you could have entered this on the engulfing bar. Again, I just talked about engulfing bars. They're not for everybody. They're for more experienced traders. But I originally had a bullish bar here, and you could have entered one tick below that because you can't enter here because it never breaks lower. It doesn't break lower until below this bar, and that bar doesn't qualify. So if you didn't enter here on the engulfing bar, there's no entry on this. I don't remember if it had two bar matching low there. I don't know if it changed my chart that much reloading it. I'm just not sure. I hate reloading my chart, but for some reason I reloaded it. I don't remember what it was, but this is the kind of problem you start to see. I already had this all set up, all the trades marked, everything, and I reloaded it and it changed this right here. I'm pretty sure I marked this as entering on the engulfing bar. I hope I'm remembering that right. But anyway, that would be the only way you could enter it the way it is now. Runs down, close outside. It tries to make a new low and then makes a couple of legs up. I think you could treat this as a second entry short, but notice it doesn't break lower there, but then it breaks higher and comes back. So if it breaks below that one, you can go ahead and go short. There is a 3-bar matching low there, but we're in a downtrend and you're failing to go higher a couple times. If it breaks lower there, you're going to probably get a scalp out of it, which you do. Runs down, comes back and makes one more push down, and then we get the break here. No need to go long here yet, and then you're chopping lower here. I think you get a break and a couple of swings to a new low, and then you run up to make the new high on this green channel. That's the first break of the green channel, so you run and make a new high, and notice you got a new low here, and you get a first entry and a second entry. Again, wait for this bar to close, go short one tick below it, and that's a nice move down. Again, it doesn't quite make a new low before it reverses. You can see there. we come up a tick or two short from making a new low. But that happens sometimes. And this market just wanted to go higher. And notice the channel coming down. I drew the channel because it does play out here, but a lot of times on a retest you won't draw that, and so there's nothing to really trade on the way down other than this first trade anyway. And then you bottom out here, you make a higher low that far away from the EMA. I like taking it back. You might even um, argue that this one should be green. I'll give it a green, but you almost always need to wait on the higher low just to be sure. And then we start working sideways, but notice you get a 1, 2, 3, and notice how every one of those closes respect that trend line. That's telling you that trend line is probably true. This is a second entry. Notice the new high, first entry, second. It's a little congested though, so you got to be careful with it. And so maybe you enter there, maybe you don't. Maybe you wait and see if you get another test, and you actually do get another test. So now you got a triple test, and it's still respecting that trend line. So it breaks above that. That's probably what it needs to go on, and then sure enough, there it goes. Takes off. It even comes back and verifies the trend line one more time before it really burst off, but there's no setup there. Now you might say there's a continuation pattern. That's a possibility. Notice you got, this is basically a new low here. You got a double bottom. So you get a first entry, second entry. So that's a failure continuation pattern. So if you saw it like that and you wanted to take that trade, you could. Again, that's more advanced. That's not for everybody. Failures and reversal areas. It looks like a reversal basically, which it is a reversal. It's a continuation pattern and a reversal all in one. It runs up here, and then we just start working sideways. You get a little failed breakout, but we're in an uptrend, and it's still valid and still in play. So you got to be careful there. But I think it's worth maybe taking, because you got this trend up and you get a close outside and a couple of swings to a new high, and so it's probably going to come back and try to test this trend line at some point, which it does right there. This one was really tempting, but you got the 2-bar matching high, and you didn't really get a chance to enter here. It just kind of gaps over and keeps going and then comes back. And I wouldn't enter on it coming back. I would wait for another setup, and you see you don't get one. It comes back, and then you get a close outside and a new low, and you get a close outside, and now you're headed. So you basically get 2 legs down, and there's just no chance to enter down here, and nothing here either. And this is a nice little move up to a new high, but there's just no chance to enter there. And then again, you get this engulfing bar, and I didn't mark this, but this bar is good enough. I want to say it was even better than that originally. But you could trade this as a lower high on the engulfing bar, and you'd go short 1 tick below this bar. But again, that's more advanced. That's not for everybody. New traders should just skip that. And but as an experienced trader, I like trading that on the engulfing bar, and that would have given you a nice chance to get short there, get a scalp out of that right before the close, and that takes you into close. So nothing else after that. So yeah, kind of a quiet day. There's a few trades here, a few decent trades, but nothing spectacular. And I suspect that most of December is probably going to be very similar. Well, we might start trending lower, or we could just have some sideways days. I mean, this is just more of a sideways days that got a little bit of a push up at the close. There was a gap this morning, so once we traded lower here, there was a gap. Notice we opened here at 8:30, so in order to close that gap, we'd have to trade up and test that, and that doesn't happen until after lunchtime. And then we ended up pushing a little higher before it was over, and we backed off a little right at the close. So there it is. Just kind of a mixed trading day. Started out bearish, ended more bullish. So just a mixed day, kind of a down up day. That's how I would describe this day. So again, not much else we can say about today. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I want to wrap it up and get this video processed and uploaded for you, so you can be watching it sooner rather than later. and we'll call it a day. But I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.